Ramaphosa, Traore, and the quest for mineral sovereignty. A significant narrative is beginning to unfold across the African continent, one that speaks of a renewed determination to reclaim control over its vast mineral wealth. This story is not just about minerals, it's about the future of Africa itself. African leaders are increasingly aware of the need to harness their resources for the benefit of their own people. At the forefront of this emerging story are figures like South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Their actions suggest a potential new axis of power focused on resource sovereignty. This is not necessarily a formal alliance, but rather an alignment of purpose, a shared recognition that Africa's path to true economic independence is paved with the resources beneath its soil. The implications of such a shift could be profound for the continent's future. The very notion of an African mineral power duo involving a seasoned statesman like Ramaphosa and a young revolutionary military leader like Traore captures the imagination. It speaks to a continent stirring, eager to rewrite the terms of its engagement with the world. For decades, Africa's mineral resources have been exploited, often with limited benefit flowing back to its people or national treasuries. The current geopolitical climate provides a unique window of opportunity for African nations to assert greater control. This moment is about more than just economic gain, it's about dignity, self-reliance, and the future of a continent. The world is watching as Africa takes steps to ensure that its vast mineral wealth benefits its own people. The journey ahead is fraught with challenges, but the potential rewards are immense. The future of Africa's mineral wealth is not just a story of resources, it's a story of people, progress, and potential. As Ramaphosa and Traore lead the charge, they symbolize a broader movement across the continent. A movement that seeks to transform Africa's mineral wealth into a foundation for sustainable development and prosperity. The world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher. It speaks to a continent stirring, eager to rewrite the terms of its engagement with the world. For decades, Africa's mineral resources have been exploited, often with limited benefit flowing back to its people or national treasuries. The current geopolitical climate provides a unique window of opportunity for African nations to assert greater control. A unique window of opportunity for African nations to assert greater control. Captain Ibrahim Traore, at just 36 years of age, stands as the world's youngest head of state, a figure who has rapidly become a symbol of a new, assertive leadership in West Africa. His rise to power has been nothing short of meteoric, capturing the imagination of many. Since taking power in Burkina Faso through a coup in September 2022, he has embarked on a path of radical reform, particularly within the country's vital mining sector. This sector, long dominated by foreign interests, is now being restructured to benefit the nation. His youth and decisive actions have garnered him significant popularity, not just domestically, but across parts of the continent weary of the old order. Many see him as a beacon of hope and a harbinger of change. Traore's administration inherited a nation beset by profound challenges, political instability, recurrent coup attempts, and a relentless tide of violent extremism. These issues have plagued Burkina Faso for years, creating a sense of urgency for effective governance. It is against this backdrop of turmoil and pressing need that Captain Traore has identified the mining sector as a critical lever for national recovery and sovereignty. By focusing on this sector, he aims to harness its potential for the greater good. His mandate is to ensure that the wealth extracted from Burkinabe soil directly contributes to fighting terrorism, rebuilding the state, and improving the lives of its citizens. This vision is not just about economic gain, but about creating a sustainable and secure future for all. Traore has made it clear that the status quo, where foreign entities largely controlled and benefited from the nation's mineral riches, is no longer acceptable. He is determined to reclaim control and ensure that the benefits of these resources are felt by the Burkinabe people. His approach has been anything but timid. With bold moves and a clear vision, Captain Ibrahim Traore is reshaping the future of Burkina Faso, one decisive action at a time. The cornerstone of Captain Ibrahim Traore's strategy for Burkina Faso's mining sector has been a decisive push towards greater state control, including the nationalization of mines. This move represents a significant manifestation of the resurgent wave of resource nationalism sweeping across parts of Africa. It is a direct challenge to the long-standing operational models of international mining companies. Traore's government is not merely seeking a larger share of royalties or taxes. It is aiming for a fundamental rebalancing of power. This policy has been accompanied by strong rhetoric and clear warnings to foreign mining companies operating within Burkina Faso. Traore has reportedly threatened to revoke the permits of companies whose home countries are perceived as uncooperative. Such measures create an environment of heightened uncertainty for international investors. Burkina Faso's mineral wealth is substantial, with gold being the most prominent. The Traore administration sees the direct control and exploitation of these resources as essential for funding its development agenda and security efforts. The success of Traore's gambit will depend heavily on navigating these complexities effectively. South Africa, under President Cyril Ramaphosa, observes the assertive mineral policies emerging in nations like Burkina Faso from a unique vantage point. As a continental economic powerhouse with one of the world's most developed and historically significant mining industries, South Africa has its own complex legacy of resource management. President Ramaphosa champions a more measured, reformist approach, seeking to attract investment while advancing national development goals. While there is no formal partnership between Ramaphosa and Traore, South Africa's leadership watches developments in the Sahel with keen interest. The push for greater resource sovereignty resonates with aspects of South Africa's own historical narrative and post-apartheid policy objectives. Ramaphosa's strategy is more evolutionary, focused on transformation within existing structures. The idea of an Africa's mineral power duo involving Ramaphosa and Traore is perhaps more symbolic than operational at this juncture. Section 5. The Sahel's Great Game: Geopolitical Realignments and Resource Control. The Sahel region of Africa is currently experiencing profound geopolitical shifts, creating a complex backdrop for the assertive mineral policies being pursued by leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore. Countries such as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, all led by military juntas, are not only tightening their grip on their mining sectors, but are also fundamentally reassessing their international alliances. This has most notably involved a significant distancing from former colonial power France. This strategic pivot away from traditional Western partners has coincided with an increasing openness towards new alliances, most prominently with Russia. This evolving dynamic is creating what some observers have described as a new Cold War-like geopolitical scenario in the Sahel. Section 6. Continental Ripples: Mali and Niger, Asserting Their Mineral Wealth. The assertive stance taken by Burkina Faso under Captain Traore is part of a broader trend across the Sahel. Mali, for instance, has been particularly active in revising its relationship with international mining companies. In a striking move, the Malian government confiscated 3 tons of gold from the Canadian mining giant Barrick Gold Corporation. This action led Barrick Gold to suspend operations at its principal mining site in the country. Niger, another key member of the Alliance of Sahel States, has followed a similar trajectory. In a significant development, Niger's junta seized control of the Somer uranium mine, majority owned by the French state-owned nuclear fuel company Orano. These actions in Mali and Niger, alongside those in Burkina Faso, paint a picture of a region determined to rewrite the rules of engagement for its mineral wealth. Section 7. The Balance of Power: International Mining Concerns in an Evolving Africa. The wave of resource nationalism sweeping across the Sahel is creating a palpable sense of unease among international mining companies. These firms now face a period of significant uncertainty. The threat of contract renegotiations, increased taxation, higher state participation, and in some cases, outright nationalization or permit revocations, fundamentally alters the risk calculus for investing in the region. This evolving landscape demands a recalibration of strategies from companies accustomed to more predictable operating environments. The case of Barrick Gold Corporation in Mali serves as a stark illustration of the new realities. Burkina Faso's reported threat to revoke permits unless mining companies' home nations supply military equipment is a clear example of resource policy being intertwined with broader geopolitical and security objectives. The long-term implications for international mining investment in Africa are still unfolding. Section 8. From the Ground Up: Local Communities and the Promise of Resource Wealth. The drive by leaders like Captain Traore to reclaim control over mineral resources is often framed in terms of national sovereignty and economic self-determination. These leaders argue that by taking control of their own resources, they can break free from the economic chains imposed by foreign corporations and governments. However, the ultimate measure of success for these policies will be their tangible impact on local communities and the broader populace. It's not just about national pride or economic statistics, it's about real, on-the-ground changes that improve people's lives. For too long, many resource-rich areas in Africa have remained mired in poverty, with local populations seeing little benefit from the wealth extracted from their ancestral lands. The disconnect between resource wealth and local poverty is stark and troubling. The promise of this new era of resource nationalism is that it will finally channel these riches towards improving livelihoods, funding essential services, and fostering genuine, inclusive development from the ground up. This means better schools, more accessible healthcare, and improved infrastructure. If the nationalization of mines and stricter controls lead to increased state revenues, these funds could theoretically be invested in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and job creation. The potential for transformative change is immense. However, this is contingent on transparent and accountable management of these newfound resources. Without proper oversight, the same issues of corruption and mismanagement that have plagued the past could continue to hinder progress. The potential for positive change is significant. With the right policies and practices, resource wealth can be a powerful tool for development. Ensuring that the benefits flow downwards requires robust institutions, strong anti-corruption measures, and genuine community participation in decision-making processes. Only then can the promise of resource wealth be fully realized for the people who need it most. Section 9. Africa's Mineral Future Towards Economic Liberation or New Uncertainties. The assertive moves by leaders such as Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso mark a pivotal moment for the continent. This drive for greater control over mineral wealth holds the promise of genuine economic liberation. The idea of an emerging, albeit informal duo of intent, perhaps symbolized by figures like Traore and South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, speaks to a growing continental consensus that Africa must dictate the terms of its resource engagement with the world. This quest for mineral sovereignty, however, is not without its perils and uncertainties. The nationalization of mines and the imposition of stricter regulations can deter foreign investment, which often brings necessary capital, technology, and expertise. There is a delicate balance to be struck between asserting national rights and maintaining an environment conducive to the efficient and sustainable exploitation of resources.